Welcome to a very special Sharpe Way. Yes, it's not Monday night. It is actually Thursday afternoon, and so happy to have you here. Another show trying to give you some awesome, amazing content. And today I am so lucky. As I tell you every week, I'm lucky, but I am super lucky this week in that I have the amazing techpreneur.
Off my head. Sorry.
Oh, you still there?
I'm sorry.
No worries.
I'm still here. My apologies.
I am introducing you right now. Let me give you a quick intro. Techpreneur, politician, activist, philosopher, cryptocurrency guru, the man himself, John McAfee. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thanks for having me on. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. And I don't know if you happen to remember, but when we chatted many years ago, seems like forever ago, in Orlando, 2016, in the Libertarian Party convention in 2016, my first vote for presidency was actually for you, even though I knew Gary Johnson was going to win in the end. My first vote was actually for you because I wanted to make sure that people still knew you existed. I wanted to make sure that your voice was heard. So, see, you got my first round vote.
Oh, fantastic. I'm actually glad Gary Johnson won. I mean, nothing against Gary, but as a representative of the Libertarian Party, I think he pointed out what some of the faults and flaws might be and within the party.
No, I'm a big Gary Johnson fan. Love him. I'm glad what he did for the party. I'm glad what he did for the movement. I'm happy he ran. I'm glad he's done what he's done. But he's not running this next time. There's something there. This is now a new era or a new group of people coming in. And I feel like you are one of them. I mean, I'm not sure if you're deciding whether you're going to run Libertarian or Independent or where your head is there. But I know you've thrown your hat into the ring. It's official this month, right? You have thrown your hat into the ring.
That's correct. For the second time.
Yes. So you're
here's the thing here's the problem with the Libertarian Party is that people actually believe they're going to be elected. I actually believe some people think. Well, please God, I mean, the world's watching us.
Absolutely.
None of us in the Libertarian Party are going to be president ever until our system is fixed. And we have a two-party system. The last legitimate threat to it was Ross Perot.
Yes.
And since then, there have been none. The Libertarians know, right? And the issue is that our system is just totally screwed up.
Well, you've said this. I mean, you've said you're the guy who can disrupt this. This is something that you've said more than once. You've been saying that. I mean, is this your goal?
Of course it is. First of all, I just like to wake some people up to the reality of their existence. I mean, people actually think it fucking matters who the president is. That shocks and saddens me, frightens me for the future of the human race if we cannot possibly see the truth here, people. Number one, those of you who have lived through more than one election, was a single hair on your head wafted by that election.
But we hear every time that this is the most important election ever, right? Every single election we hear, this is the most important election ever, yet nothing seems to change.
Well, we're stupid for believing it's the most important. There is no important fucking election in America, and nor has there been one since the 50s, people. Please see the truth of this. I mean, we are in an information age which began in the 50s and has expanded to include every aspect of our lives, primarily surveillance. And we are surveilled by everybody.
Absolutely.
And the CIA is the owner of the world's information, the knowledge base of our fucking planet in terms of political, religious, military, cultural, historical. They own this.
So you've talked about
Congress.
Before. How do we fix this?
Yeah.
What is the wake up? I know your slogan is "Get your soul back," right? So Are you
No,
telling us that there is a spiritual piece to this? Are you telling us there's an intellectual piece to this? Is there both?
I don't think there's either one. I mean,
Okay.
I'm up here at the age of 74, pointing to what appears to be the most obvious of all things and getting people to look. Listen, if there's a fucking fire in the movie theater, do you need a plan? Let's say you're the only one who sees it. Oh my God, there's a fire.
Right.
What do? You sit down and go, let's see, what do we do first? Maybe you could recruit your wife. What do we do now, baby? Well, let's put a plan together. Bullshit, you yell fire.
And you run.
And people wake up and you fucking run.
Yep.
I don't know how to fix any of this. Neither does anybody. Those who say they have a plan are doing one of two things. They are purposely lying to you, or they're lying to themselves. And sometimes both.
Sure.
Because nobody has a plan, because nobody knows the truth. You cannot fix people what you cannot see. And when what you can see is carefully displayed and orchestrated and acted out by people with the ultimate power of information, like the CIA and military covert intelligence, who, by the way, call presidents and congressmen transients. Transients, because they are CIA and covert intelligence, a lifelong job. You don't quit the CIA, you're there for life. And in that lifetime, you have spent.
Yeah, I was actually recruited by the CIA back in the 80s after I got out of the Marine Corps. I had a college degree. I had been in intelligence. I was single. I lived overseas. I was like the perfect person for them to recruit. And by the way, they're not supposed to recruit overseas, yet they did. And they tried to recruit me.
Oh, come on,
one of the reasons why I said no is what you just said. There were people who told me two things. And one person told me, he said, Larry, if you join the CIA, you never leave. Do you really want to do that? And the second person said, Larry, you'd be a great spy, but you'll be a better father. And those two things made me say no. That's why I didn't join.
Right. Listen, I don't think the CIA is a bunch of evil freaks. No, I think they're all patriots. A little misguided, but they called presidents and congressmen transients because that's what they are. They're here for 4 years, 8 years max as the president, and then they're gone. You can't train a president in 8 years in all the nuances of international relations, military situations. It's not possible. First of all, they're not smart enough. Secondly, there's just not enough time. And so the CIA calls the shots. How? By feeding information to Congress and the presidents that motivates them to act in ways that the CIA wants. If you haven't seen this, and by the way, most of the motivation is done using truth. Because listen, presidents don't get into the office, by the way, and say, "Do we have aliens?" The CIA says, "No need to know." So in the second Gulf War, what happened? The CIA just outright lied. Hey, Iraq's got nuclear weapons. I'm sorry, sir. You're going to have to do what you got to do. And
so you're saying the CIA uses both truth and almost like a lack of information to craft a story to get the transients to move.
Of course. See, here's the thing that people don't understand. You think that just because you're elected president, you get to know all the country's secrets? Fuck me, people wake up. They're transient people and are told virtually nothing. Why? The CIA operates on one principle, the principle of ultimate veto. It's called need to know. If a president goes, "We got aliens," CIA is going to go, "Sorry, sir, but that's a need to know." Hey, what's happening here? "I'm sorry, sir. That's a need to know. We will tell you, Mr. President, of anything of importance that requires an executive decision." That's how it works. Please God, people wake the fuck up.
So are you saying that wait, so you're saying that we shouldn't be running for president? We should be running for CIA chief? I mean, is this the way? Should we be infiltrating the actual deep state in this world? Is that the actual answer? Infiltrating the state itself?
I don't have a fucking clue what the answer is. I do know the following. If you have 400 million people watching a carefully scripted play where we believe that we're electing presidents and congressmen that actually fucking matter, that have power and can change things, even though nothing ever changes and you know it,
Yes.
even so, we think it will. And it won't. It doesn't matter. Put street derelicts in, put anybody in. It's not going to change a single thing. Because as Dwight Eisenhower warned us in the 50s when he left office, the CIA and the military industrial complex represent the greatest threat to American freedom. The only president to ever challenge the CIA after that was John F. Kennedy, and he was going to dismantle those motherfuckers, but well, he had an accident. The
So
next
so
president to
why would
challenge it,
so why would you be doing this then? I mean, what this John, are you telling me that you're afraid that whoever actually challenge it is going to be kind of, have an accident? Is that the
no,
concern?
no, of course, nobody in their right mind challenges the CIA. Now, please God, listen to past presidents when
Mhm.
they're out getting old and they're just chatting. They all say the
Mhm.
same thing. No, the CIA. No, you can't do shit with them.
Mhm.
Not possible. So, and what do? I don't give a shit. I do know this. If we're
Mhm.
all watching a play and we all become aware that it is just a fucking play, people, that behind the curtain is the producer and the director, the grip and the musicians and all that shit.
Mhm.
We're watching a play. If I can just get people to see the absolute and obvious truth of this, I've done my fucking job because once we see, well, fuck me, we will change. Because
Okay, so
power
once
ultimately,
we get that we're watching the play, are you saying
yeah,
we should kind of get up and leave the theater? Is that
I
is
don't
that
know,
what you're
fucking
saying?
know. I don't know. Maybe you like the play. Maybe it's easier
Uh,
for you to
It
believe the
is.
play.
No doubt it
Well, then
is.
go ahead. I don't give
Yes.
a shit. I
I
just
I
want you
think
to
we
see it.
are. Yeah, I think
Well,
we
that's
are
fine.
enjoying the play. I think you're right. I think we're
Well,
enjoying the play
and
right
if
now.
so, that's fine. But if I can just wake one person up, just one, to see the truth, then my job is done. I've helped this world a little. What
Mhm.
if I wake up 10? What if I wake up 10 and they wake up 10 and they wake up 10?
Is this specifically an American problem? Is this a global problem? Is it a first world problem? Is it a G8 problem? Is it a UN problem? What kind of problem is this? Is it just us?
No, I mean it's a problem for the entire world now. The rise of information science, making information way more powerful than money or military might. And
Mhm.
if anybody who has not seen that yet, go back to school. Way more powerful than
Or
anything.
don't go to school.
And yeah, or don't go to school because
Yes.
listen, what is the holy grail of all dictators? Not control of the populace because you can't do that without first knowing absolutely everything about them. Once you
Right.
do that,
Mhm.
then you can control. And the CIA knows everything, and they are controlling, and they're controlling through the apparatus that we structured back in 1776 called the U.S. Constitution. And they have so cleverly undermined that and given themselves power. Now, I, I believe to some extent, they're correct. How on earth in this modern day and fucking age can a civilian president who spends most of his life promoting himself or
Mhm.
herself, playing politics and not understanding jack shit about the realities of the world to the level that the CIA does? Well, goddamn. Uh, if someone's going to make a decision in that, then please God, let it be the CIA, provided we know what it is. Let
But
us fucking know, people.
let's go
Go
to the
ahead.
next level here, right? If information is the key, and I agree with you, I think it completely is the key. More important because with information you can control money, you can control people, you can control power. That I'm with you 100%. Aren't you hearing now? I mean, this is your world. You have other nations and using their with government backing who are literally moving ahead of us. The Chinese are moving ahead of us in information technology, right? Is this a concern, or is this the right move, or is this natural?
Well, it depends on what you mean by technology. I mean, my friend, technology up until the blockchain, all world-changing technologies for the past 100 years have come from the bowels of government secret programs or
Mm-hmm.
from the research and development departments of major corporations. Think
Sure.
of one, I promise you, one of the two. The single exception is the blockchain,
Yeah.
which came from the people.
Absolutely.
A dozen geeky guys, um, doing their thing, and came up with the concept of the blockchain and created a crude blockchain with Bitcoin and a cryptocurrency which is still functional.
Sure.
Way the fuck up. Yeah, way out of date because it's got no privacy, it's got no smart contract.
Mm-hmm.
But it is. It is the grandfather and will always be around. But from those simple beginnings, we have created an entire technology geared toward freeing people from government control.
So you tell
Privacy
me
coins and just
blockchain is the answer to stopping something like a Chinese dictatorship from controlling too much information? Do we just
absolutely.
so we just kind of check out?
Well, we check out. We do our own thing financially. Do you
Mm-hmm.
understand? In When America started, the government had no fucking business knowing how much money you made or what you
That's
did
true.
with it. It wasn't
Yep.
anybody's business but yours.
Mm-hmm.
In 1913, that changed with the
Right.
imposition of the income tax. The insidious part of the income tax is not just that we become indentured servants in a feudal society, but that law grants the government unlimited rights to fuck with and interfere with and monitor your every financial move, which is not the government's business. Not prior to 1913, and we had the largest industrial economy on the planet in 1912, and we did not have an income tax. So when
Mm-hmm.
people say you got to have an income tax, I'm going, get fucking real. 36 countries today don't have it. We
Right.
didn't have it prior to 1913. What the fuck are you talking about? It's
Absolutely.
nonsense.
Absolutely. So the blockchain piece, though, right? There's a gentleman here in New York who was talking about the idea of actually using a coin in either America or in a state to help with basically putting out public assistance, right? Not using the dollar, but using a coin to do that, a crypto, some type of cryptocurrency. Do you think that it's a good idea for government to be involved in cryptocurrency, or not? Should it only be local by the people, or does it matter either way?
Well, governments are involved. I mean, China is building its own, and obviously America is going to come next. Within a year, we're going to have the crypto dollar, the crypto euro, the crypto everything. So they're involved. However, we must prevent governments from making what we have built illegal, which they will do.
Yes.
Already, privacy coins like Monero, which can't possibly be tracked. And you're saying that's what we should be doing using crypto? There's an entire sub world here of people who only use cryptocurrency. I'm among them. I don't
Mm.
buy shit with dollars. It's insane. Everything from houses to cars to bulletproof vests to suits, shoes, and sex toys you can buy with cryptocurrency if you Google it and spend a little time. And this community is growing madly. I estimate 100,000 people worldwide are now divorced from fiat currencies
Now, well, governments
completely.
aren't going to be happy about that, right? They're going to fight back, all right? They're not going to go, okay,
And
I
they are
guess no
fighting
one's
back.
paying taxes. So, I mean, they're going to wind up grabbing people and putting them in prison. They're going to wind up somehow, deciding that
Yes,
only
yes,
their currency
yes,
is the official
yes.
currency,
It's,
right?
it's the official currency and must
Mm-hmm.
be used. But so what?
Absolutely.
So what, people? I mean, I know people who smoke weed
Mm-hmm.
after 75 years of draconian laws, including massive prison sentences for mere possession. And yet people do it. Why? It's called people's civil disobedience when a law is aimed to specifically restrict your privacies and your freedoms. Then you have the right to disobey that law, providing it does not impact anybody else. I mean, you're not going out and beating up little old ladies and stealing their purses. You're not yelling at children, sodomizing dogs. No, You are doing something in the privacy of your own home with the fruits of your own labor, which is no one's business but yours, for fuck's sake. And
Look,
this is what they will take away from us, from
I
crypto.
think they
They will
already
take the,
are, right? I mean, there's
they can.
already a point when I know you mentioned the right, and I get it. I do. I get we have a right to say no. I'm not going to follow that law, but we have two
Yes.
problems. Problem number one is, even though you say that, the cops will still kick in your door and put you in prison and stop you from working and make you hurt your family and all those other things. And particularly in New York State, I know it may be in other states, but I'm sure in New York State, you can't even use jury nullification. Literally, the judges say, no, you may not. Even if you disagree with this law, you must still vote guilty. They tell you that. And if they think you care about jury nullification at all, they will throw you off for jury here in New York State. You can't effectively use jury nullification in New York State, and they will kick your door in. So I get what you're saying, but you're asking the individual to sacrifice their life and martyr themselves in a way that may get them nothing.
Well, then hang on a second. I'm not asking anybody to do anything.
Okay.
I'm not asking anybody to smoke weed just because I mentioned that people do.
Okay.
This is for people with some fucking balls that
Okay. I
understand
like that.
what's at risk here. You don't get anything for nothing, people. If you don't want a goddamn risk, then go back into your prison and lock the door for good, because you will not get out. It takes risk, courage, determination, and love for your own fucking children and grandchildren. Because if you care one iota for the next fucking generation, you today at this crucial juncture owe them an ounce of something resembling human being, courage, determination, and quest for freedom. And if you're not willing to do that, I'm fine with that. You want to stay in your cage, stay. But for those of you who are hearing me now, privacy coins, which can't ever be traced, and distributed exchanges, which can't ever be shut down, is our solution and our savior.
So
And we have both of those things today.
but there's a
And
fear
sure,
there,
you're
right?
running.
I mean, look,
Of course, there's a fear there.
they're afraid that, oh my God, the world's going to end if I go cryptocurrency, if I go this privacy thing with, if I start following John McAfee, then all of a sudden, the I'm going to be part of the dark web, and I'm going to be human trafficking people and supporting drug cartels. And that fear has been put in us to be forwarded by the play you've been speaking about, right? The play of the government telling us that everything that is crypto is evil, even though you and I both know that's not true. But that's been the play that we've been told. And there are a lot of people, John, who really believe it. They're afraid. They think that if they go that route, they're supporting bad stuff.
Listen, I'm not a savior. I'm not a hero. I'm not here to save anybody. I'm here to tell the truth. Those who want to listen will make your own decisions. I could care less what they are. What I care about is open your eyes and see what has been laid in front of us with cryptocurrency. There are over 100,000 people now in this world who no longer use any form of fiat currency and only use crypto. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Monero, DAI, the stable coins. We have developed a technology designed to free people from the financial control and manipulation of governments and federal agencies and those that control the money supply. And
So
this is what I'm showing you. I'm laying out on the table a set of tools. You want them? Take them. You don't? That's cool with me.
so
I'm
you
not
you're
talking to
trying
everybody.
to
I'm not even
free.
talking.
I got it. You're
I'm
trying to
sorry?
free us. You're trying to free us. I get it. You're showing us a way to free. I get it. I have a question from YouTube that says, what are the best issues to win over registered Democrats and Republicans to this style, this idea of freedom and liberty? And I say specifically registered because if you're a registered Republican Democrat, the odds are You believe in the system. You believe that the system is the right way of doing things. You believe that if I vote, I'm going to change things, right? And this is things you're saying don't work. How do I get that person who says, no, 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 John, I've got to keep voting because that's the way things work? How do I get that person to say maybe that's not the only issue or the only answer?
You and I have different goals. I'm not trying to get every person in the world. I'm not even trying to get 1%, not even a half of 1%, not even a tenth of 1%. I'm looking for those people ready who've looked at their lives and their relationships to the ones they love, their jobs, their government, their relationship to authority, and have seen the falsehoods and want to see the truth. I'm
So
talking to
you're not
them.
actually
And I don't care if
trying
it's only
to.
3 of you. Those 3 of you, I pray at least one of you are listening to me now and will hear this
Well, I've heard
and
this
see
type
what
before,
has
right?
been
The
given to you.
the idea, if I get what you're saying, is you're not actually trying to convert anybody. You're just saying there are
Oh,
people out
no.
there who are ready, and those people who are ready, I'm going to bring them aboard. And if they convert people, awesome. And if they don't, that's awesome too.
Yes. Yes. Listen, listen, probably 3 years ago, there were less than 5,000 people, probably less than 1,000, exclusively transacting business and living, financing in every respect, entirely with cryptocurrency. Today,
That
there's over
wow,
100,000.
that is a massive increase.
Today, there's
What
to,
what what do you
and
spur?
this
What do you
time
what's the
next year,
reason?
there will be 5 million of us. Pardon?
Why? Why is this exploding this way? What's happening? What's the thing that's
Please
getting
God,
someone to say,
please God.
I'm done?
Well, it's not I'm done. It's I'm ready.
Well, I
Are you
mean,
ready for a new life?
but
Are you
for
ready to
someone,
take
that's a new life.
charge
That's a
of your
big
own?
deal. But that's a big deal, John.
Fine.
It is a big deal. So what's
Yes, of
happening
course it is.
to make that happen? I mean, for someone to say no more US dollars, I'm going crypto, that is a big change in someone's life and their psyche and how they
See,
do things. What
see,
is happening in this
you're
world to
thinking.
make that happen?
Well, I don't know. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in changing people. I've said this. Okay, I'm interested in those who are awake and see God. I see it. How do I escape? Come to me. I will show you. That's all. Good God Almighty. I know that somebody out there listening to us now has seen this
Mm-hmm.
and wants to know which privacy coin, Monero, which distributed exchange. There are a number. I built one myself called McAfee Dex.
Mm.
How do I then hide all of my money that I've made? How do I not pay something in taxes? No, you want to know? I will fucking tell you. For the rest of you, go about your business. Please,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not up to trying to educate, train, and convert. I'm here taking the cream of the fucking crop that is ready for
Mm.
picking.
Okay. All right. No, look,
And it's not going to be many of us, but I promise you, if we get to 1 million strong, whoa, we will change the world, people.
now you've talked
Because
about the
the
future a lot, right? Let me go a little bit off track if I could. I'm going to try to cover what some of the
you bet.
people online are asking. So with that in mind, we care about the future, we care about our kids and the future and the planet. I got it. Do you have a feeling or do you have an idea or a concern regarding the idea of global warming, plastic, trash, things like that? Is that part of your platform or where you are?
Fuck no.
Okay.
Of course, I care about global warming, but what the fuck do you think can be done about it when our system is broken to the point that the FBI is now its own justice department with, the judge, jury, and executioner? The CIA is now the ruler of our fucking country. Please, God, what do you think you can do other than talk about it? Because look who you have to change, not just America. You gotta fucking change the Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
What law are you going to pass in America that's going to stop China, which does 90% of the plastic dumping from dumping? Please wake up and see the limited powers that you have and change the fucking things that you can and ignore the things that you fucking can't. Wake the fuck up, people. Those of you who see we have a solution, we have an escape from the burden of a corrupt government. And in America, one which is turning rapidly into a fucking police state.
Mm-hmm.
Those are who I'm talking to. Nobody else. And if people go, "Oh, then I'm afraid," fine. I'm not a Pied fucking Piper. I'm an open door with a welcome sign. And that's all.
Open door with a welcome sign. I don't know. I like the Pied Piper in you a little bit better, but I'll take open door. I'll take it. So what if we start doing this, right? We start kind of backing away and a group of people decide to back away from the fiat currency. Are we going to have to somehow create our own localized government or rulers or system? Is that what's going to happen? Is this going to turn to something to where it is us against them? Those who accept what the U.S. government says and their dollars and their control, and those who don't? Is that the future?
I mean, first of all, the U.S. government is going to change, and so are all world governments. Because if the people of the world, are successful in creating a protected economy using privacy coins, distributed exchanges. See, the exchange I built can't ever be shut down. Arrest me. I mean, there's no location for it. It's a truly distributed, decentralized exchange. Nobody controls it. We don't ask any KYC, no information. You just go through and do your business and leave totally anonymously and privately.
For those of you who don't know, KYC is know your customer laws.
Your customer and AML, anti-money laundering.
Yep.
We do none of that. Not my job. My job is not to be a policeman. If you want me to be, then fucking deputize me and pay me a reasonable fucking salary. No one's offered that yet, so I'm not including that in my products.
Okay, I like that.
So
that's good. There's a theory though, right? That the people who will take up the crypto world fastest will be those who are the poorest, because like Venezuela and countries like that, and the U.S. will kind of be like the last to do this. We're going to wind up,
Well, no, the U.S. is definitely trust me, the U.S. is going to be one of the leaders of crypto, but there are two cryptos. There's the crypto which is decentralized.
Okay.
And you said, what are we are we looking for a new government? No, please God, the blockchain removes any fucking requirement for a government. People see the truth of this. Every transaction is trustless, meaning you don't need any trust, and permissionless. You don't need anybody's permission. Do you understand the power of those two things?
Well, it's funny
when
you bring this up.
Government, if you have smart fucking contracts, which is the equivalent of an electronic lawyer. Pardon?
No, I'm actually a member of the Government Blockchain Association, and so I talk about blockchain often when I'm out speaking. And one of the things I talk about is people are afraid, they don't understand blockchain. So how I do it, this is exactly to your point. What I tell them is I say, hey, wouldn't it be great if when you bought a car, not just you knew you bought the car, but everybody knew that you bought the car and it was your car? Wouldn't it be great if when you got married, everybody knew that you got married and everybody could agree wherever you are that you got married? Wouldn't it be great if when you bought a house, everyone knew that it happened? And they go, yeah, that'd be great. I said, that's blockchain. You don't have to worry about an infrastructure that a piece of paper, and so you have it.
So what's happening within this 100,000 or so and rapidly growing community of exiles from the fiat system? That's what I call them. We don't need a fucking government. We have the blockchain people. You can't screw me through a smart contract.
But I want to go back to what you said, though. You said you still think America will be the leader, and there's a group of people who are saying they're going to be the last, right? I look at New York State as an example. You probably know about New York State. We created a bit license. What a disaster that was! It basically just made many people leave New York State, is what it did. People who care about the crypto world, they just left our state and went someplace else. But I feel like America is going to try to regulate the hell out of it to where it's going to explode someplace else. But then you said two separate types of crypto. Can you go down that road for me? What are those two worlds?
Yeah, okay. There's two types. Number one, there's government crypto like China's creating, or like corporations create, like Facebook's Libra.
Sure.
That's not decentralized. It's controlled by Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And the government crypto is controlled by the government. It's the opposite of what we are building as people. Instead of privacy, there's anti-privacy. Every fucking penny you ever get is instantly that they traced that penny through the last 5,000 hands. It went through instantly. Good God Almighty, is this where you want to live? No, no, well, not me.
Mm-hmm.
But and then there's the other crypto, and you said, well, what if they shut it down? You can't.
Mm-hmm.
We are smart contracts on the blockchain is my decentralized exchange. Don't care what you do, arrest me. I have no office. There is no office.
Mm-hmm.
The people who built it, we can't change it now. It is fixed forever on the blockchain and can't ever be removed by any power, any government, any regulatory body, not even God himself, unless God wishes to totally change the laws of mathematics in this universe. So, no, it can't be shut down, people. That's
So
what I'm saying. We have built something that no government can ever interfere with.
So are they
And
going to
please,
fight each other,
God,
right? If all of a sudden we start having to say like the Venezuelans of the world and other countries that begin to collapse, by default, they create their own local community of cryptocurrencies or begin to use others that make sense for them. Is there going to be almost like a currency war between the government run currencies and the non-government run currencies? Is that going to be a problem?
there's war happening now. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they're already trying to ban Monero, our most powerful privacy coin, but we have new ones coming, which are even more amazing and powerful. So they cannot keep up. But yes, there's war, and there will continue to be war.
Mm-hmm.
Governments will want to kill the individual cryptocurrencies that were created by the people. The people will want to abandon the cryptocurrencies created by governments, which is what's happening now. And so,
So
yes,
so so
it's a
doesn't
war.
that then open up the cryptocurrencies to be manipulated just like another currency when governments decide to use violence and force to make people either stop using it or to stop mining it or to punish them with not giving them electricity or power or insert thing here, right? Doesn't it open it up to still be manipulated by governments anyway just by using force?
Did governments manipulate the marijuana market for the past 75 years? No, God, please wake up. That does not happen. There are too many of us already.
Mhm.
How can you manipulate 100,000 people? And next year, when we're 10 million, how will you manipulate us? No, you can arrest a few of us, like people get arrested, token token weed arrest.
Mhm. Sure, sure.
Random searches found, and yes, there are going to be people arrested. There are going to be people spending time in jail. Here's the question: I'm not asking you to do either. Like I'm not asking you to smoke weed. Those of you who have smoked it and go, huh, I like it. Do I like it enough to risk arrest?
Mhm.
Well, millions of people said yes.
Right.
What about cryptocurrency and that privacy? Oh, you're going to like that.
Mhm.
If you like weed, you will love crypto. Do you like it enough to risk the repercussions? Yes or no? If you don't, go home. If you do, stay with us.
So, is there someone else that you think is in? I'll use America now. In America now, who you think is a good spokesman or a good example, or someone else we should be listening to or watching or paying attention to that's kind of on board with what you're saying, or is it really just you?
No, I mean, there are many, and most of them are. You're not going to be able to see them on a podcast,
Hmm.
but quite a few. Uh, and here's the other thing: there's a lot of privacy in this massively growing community where we don't get coming to blows with governments,
Mm-hmm.
but the sense of freedom that we have by not being able to be monitored or controlled, our choice of how our money and how we spend it, which is our fucking business, that is a massive draw once you experience it. What you want to send a wire transfer with the normal currency that you have,
Right.
fiat. What do? Get out of bed, drive to your bank, stand in line, fill out some forms,
Yep.
get a signature, get an approval, get back in the car, go home. How
Mm-hmm.
do you do it with cryptocurrency? Copy and paste the wallet address and hit send.
Right.
10 fucking seconds, people. Just one out of thousands of examples of why cryptocurrency is so fucking fabulous. And it's
So
our money.
so
You
so
can't ever get. Go ahead.
let's go to an issue that we hear in right now because of the presidential election constantly. And if you have an issue or concern or want to address this in some way, healthcare and the healthcare cartels, the hospital cartels, the pharmaceutical cartels. What does McAfee say about this?
Well, it's a tragedy. I mean, it's heartrending. What can we do about it?
Yeah.
Jack shit. Jack shit, people.
How did I
Will
know you
you
would say
look at
that?
the. No, no, come on. Look at the complexity. I'd like you to think. Let's talk about healthcare. Who's involved in healthcare? Well, we've got first and foremost big pharma,
Mm-hmm.
the pharmaceutical companies, all right? And their tendrils that go into every fucking country and cannot yet be synthesized. The synthesis labs all over the fucking world, the massive marketing,
Mm-hmm.
and of course the massive power. What else
Sure.
you have? You have doctors. Listen,
But isn't there an issue here if I get the system right, the system itself? Of course, there's an oligarchy. I get that. Of course, there are cartels, but isn't there also a chunk where cryptocurrency can come in here and take away a bunch of the administration to actually lower costs? I mean, is if you had a cryptocurrency, I'm sorry, cryptocurrency, wrong answer. If you had a blockchain, right, a blockchain answer that would actually allow things to
oh,
be, you could share when you wanted to share.
KYC, no information. You just go through and do your business and leave totally anonymously and privately.
For those of you who don't know,
And
KYC is know your customer laws.
the
For those of you
customer
who don't know,
and
yes.
AML, anti-money laundering,
Yep.
we do none of that.
Mhm.
Not my job. My job is not to be a policeman. If you want me to be, then fucking deputize me and pay me a reasonable fucking salary. No one's offered that yet, so I'm not including that in my products.
Okay, I like that.
So,
That's good.
laws of mathematics in this universe. So no, it can't be.
An oligarchy. I get that. Of course, there are cartels. But isn't there also a chunk where cryptocurrency can come in here and take away a bunch of the administration to actually lower costs? I mean, is if you had a cryptocurrency, I'm sorry, cryptocurrency, wrong answer. If you had a blockchain, right? A blockchain answer that would actually allow things to be, you could share when you wanted to share, you could allow, people to know what you want them to know when you want them to know it. Wouldn't this be able to kind of push government out a whole lot more and allow for lower pricing?
That's a nice pie in the sky way of looking at possibilities. That's not going to happen, not anytime soon. Number one, we talked about the sophistication that we don't have technologically yet. We will. I don't know when.
Okay.
But again, keep in mind, I'm a very simple-minded man. I'm 74. Most of my brain cells have been burned away with bad drugs. And I'm just barely managing with what few brain cells I have left. So I'm a simple man. I only have one fucking want. I just want to wake people up. Because if you're not awake, why the fuck are you trying to change anything? Because if you do not see the truth of the world as it is, how can you change it? Try fixing something you cannot see.
Pretty tough.
The full depth of. I'm not talking about just some, which is what I was trying to explain with the drug things. It is so goddamn complex. It defies fixing under the current system that we have today. It is the system that's broken. And you're trying to fix one of the fingers of the system or the wheel. Fuck it.
I say it all the
Not
time.
gonna
You got to
help.
get the root, not the branch. I'm with you. Got to get the root, not the branch.
And so, okay.
Yes.
And so why don't we fix on that and stop all this pie in the sky shit? We cannot and will not, because you know for a fact, what has ever changed in your lifetime as presidents come and go? Not a fucking thing. Does that not give you a clue that maybe we're watching a play? It does me, and it should everybody. Okay, nothing ever changes. Therefore, it's a play. If it is a play, who's directing and why? Are they good or bad? Evil people or patriotic people? Jesus, it's a simple thing to just stand up,
So that's
abandon your
stuff,
preconceptions, and look behind the fucking screen. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's some deep stuff. Can I get you off topic on some kind of frivolous questions that people kind of want to ask you? You okay?
You bet. Let's do it.
All right. What are you drinking?
This is some cheap wine. Now, we're right here inside the Arctic Circle, so I haven't seen the sun for quite a while. And wine, I mean, it's kind of like going into the 7-Eleven in Dayton, Ohio, and asking for the best beluga caviar.
Okay,
you're
got
just
it.
not going to get it. Okay.
Okay.
So this wine oddly shows up in barrels. We not barrels, but massive gallons. We pour it in. And we pour it into wine bottles to make it look like we're civilized.
Okay.
But it's really, I mean, it's the equivalent of $1.30 per gallon. That's best we can get here.
So it's Mad Dog 2020. I got you. Okay.
Something very similar.
Yes. That's good. All right. A couple of the quick questions, if I could.
More wine.
Getting some more Mad Dog. I love it. No. What's your opinion on anti-nudity laws?
Well, it depends on the law. Please God. I mean, for example, a law saying that anyone past the age of 85 may not undress in public. I would get behind that.
Okay, good.
Okay. But anything else? Let me ask you. I don't know how everybody else came into this world, and I don't even remember myself of having been told I, I was not wearing clothes. Neither
Right.
have I heard of anybody. And so, um, if you are offended by the sight of a, well, I hate to even say the word for those of you who are sensitive, but penis,
Mm-hmm.
or the equivalent medical term for the female sex,
Mm-hmm.
a cunt,
Mm-hmm.
then um,
Don't think that's medical, but
I
okay.
don't know what to tell you.
It's fine. Yes.
It was a
Okay.
joke. It
No,
was a
I'm
joke. All
totally
right.
with you. It's
I
totally
think
fine.
it was a joke.
Totally
Okay.
fine. Yes. Totally fine.
So no, if you're offended by that, first of all, I find it difficult comprehending the source of the offense, but
Mm-hmm.
I will buy the fact that you are offended.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if so, we should supply people rather than telling people to put their clothes on. We should provide the equivalent of horse blinders for people who are sensitive, free
Horse
from the
blinders.
government. You'd be able to
Free
get
horse
them at your
blinders.
free horse blinders, and then just wear those fuckers, and everything will be fine.
You have heard it here. Free horse blinders. There we go. I love it. It's amazing. Thank you for letting me ask you some of these trivial questions. But here's a not so trivial question. Do you think that the Hong Kong problems that we're having right now, the protesters, the issues in China right now, in your opinion, is this something that chokes the regime? Is this something that gets squashed? Is this something for the future? What does your gut tell you when it comes to Hong Kong right now?
Well, I mean, they're going to get squashed. We all know this. It's China, people, the world's most populous and brutal country.
Sadly, I agree with
It,
you.
it, but they, but they, but they're very patient also. I mean,
Hmm.
they may not get quashed for 10 years, but they will get quashed. But what do I really think
Hmm.
when
Yes.
I see the Hong Kong demonstrators
Hmm.
wearing fucking raincoats and tear gas masks and umbrellas
Hmm.
and boots en masse, walking into a hailstorm of tear gas canisters
Yes.
without without any hesitation and with an obvious will focused on some glorious goal,
Hmm.
then my heart breaks
Right.
that we do not have that spirit here in America.
It's interesting. So you look at Hong Kong and say, I wish America had that same spirit. Do you think we ever did? Do you think we've lost it? You think we're all
Oh hell
watching the
yes, we had
play?
that.
You think we're
did,
watching
did
the play?
America ever have? Wait a minute. When you say did we ever have that spirit
Hmm.
in America? I mean, even a rudimentary, a cursory overview of American history will disabuse you of that
Sure.
notion. Americans, Jesus God, we were the toughest of all people. Keep in mind, we were all ex-cons. I mean, most of us were thrown out of European countries. That's how we got here because
Hmm.
we were the unwanted,
Yes. A country of second and
undesirable.
third sons, right? All the first sons stayed and
Yeah,
kept the
then
land. All the second and third
the
sons got
first
booted.
time the rest we got booted, and
Yep.
so we're a tough fucking nation.
Hmm.
And if you don't think that we had uh, that that spark of fire within us, then look at even as as recent as Martin Luther King,
Hmm.
um, as everyone. I mean, Jesus God, talk about. You want to talk about fierce spirit? So when the women got involved, okay,
Hmm.
when the women demanded to vote, thank God we should have given it to them to begin with. We might
Hmm.
not be in this mess.
Hmm.
And later on, prohibition.
Hmm.
You tell me, you show me a more determined spirit than 100 women all wearing long dresses and bonnets, carrying fire axes,
Hmm.
busting up a saloon. Now that's the American spirit.
So,
People, I mean,
did it? Was there a thing that you think stopped it, or did we just get lazy? Did we just get lazy and want to watch the show now? Is that what happened?
they took our freedom away and then determined what entertainment would be acceptable as replacement. And what we
Mm.
see now in this world around us is that entertainment, from the media, television, and movies, to the play of government right now. What's the play doing? Oh, we're at a high point in the play right now. We're impeaching somebody for the third
Hmm.
time. That's a good one. It keeps people completely unaware of the sleight of hand going on in the background.
So either we
Yeah, I
watch the
mean,
impeachment or we watch Disney Plus, but either way, just keep watching TV.
well, I mean, if that's your thing, I would do so. Or if you watch TV, well, why don't you watch documentaries? I mean, serious fucking documentaries where people don't have an axe to grind over a personality like
Hmm.
um, whoever, but rather an issue, an item, a war, a government, something. Um, Start watching some documentaries. There's some great ones out there, people,
Well,
about
look, let's go
anything
down that
in
road.
life. Yes.
Let's go down that road of learning. Do you have a concern, a plan, a concept, something to say about the U.S. education system?
I mean, we're about the worst in the developed world. I mean, it's
Yes,
obvious
it is.
to
That's
even the most
yes,
casual observer.
yes.
And I mean, I can say that. Um, how do we fix it? Well, it is not possible under the policy of equal education for all.
So
Um,
you're not a fan of
it,
equal education for all?
um, no, I'm not.
I
I
get it.
don't know. I mean, I have a wide variety of friends. I mean, some of them are farmers, and uh, I don't understand why farmers go to school at all, considering most of their talents and genius lies in the complexities and subtleties of farming, which is not a job for stupid people. I will tell you now.
No,
Um,
I agree with
so
you.
I
Look,
don't know.
one of the things I
I'm
do,
all for. I'm all for. Yes, go ahead.
one of the things I do is I'm a trainer and a teacher. I teach leadership and I train here in New York City. So when I do that, one of the things I talk about is the difference between fair and equal leadership. And I say equal leadership is actually lazy leadership. It's just saying I treat everyone exactly the same. And I say that's lazy and bad leadership. What good leadership
Of
is
course.
fair leadership, which means I give each individual what they need to be the best they can be at that given time. And that's a whole lot harder, but it's a whole lot better. And it's real leadership that gets the most out of your people. And to your point, I think
Well, I mean,
education should be the same way.
absolutely, absolutely. Leadership is another issue. I mean, leadership is a very complex affair. If you look
Hmm.
at the history of leadership, you find some very odd, massively successful leaders. I mean, Adolf Hitler, Mussolini, um, the third Han dynasty. I mean, Jesus God. I mean, there's some strange things happening in leadership, but I'm fully behind the American Indian um, concept of leadership. To me, and to me, I've never been able to
Explain that to me.
lead.
Explain that to me.
Okay, well, okay, let me tell you about me. I've never been able to lead anybody ever. All I do is work really fucking hard, treat everybody good as I can. If I need people, I hire them. I treat them like gods because I need them, else I would not have hired
Hmm.
them. And people just follow me.
But
And you
is
think that
but that's a
the
form of
the
leadership, isn't it? I
in
mean, being the example for people to follow, or being
yeah,
the
that's
the
right.
mission,
Yes,
right? I mean, for people
yes,
to take a hold of, that is a form of
yes.
leadership, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But let me tell you what true leadership is, and I think the Apaches have it down as well as anybody, and the Navajos. Um, the chief, Indian chiefs. You think Indian chiefs were decision makers? Fuck no. Indian chiefs were the observers. Those were the men or women who had this talent of digging beneath the surface of actions and seeing what people truly wanted and intended. So Indian leaders did not say, okay, the 1st of March, we're packing up and we're going to move the tribe 1,000 miles north where the buffalo will be. No, they didn't do shit like that.
Hmm.
They just kept their fingers on the pulse of the tribe, and then go, fuck me, the tribe is going north, and then they just started walking north, and everybody followed them. Do you understand? It's
No,
not
I
it's
get you.
not being it's not imposing your will on someone. It's understanding what the collective will of everything around you is, and realizing how fucking insignificant you are, how insignificant I am as a person compared to a collective. And therefore, my job has always been the same. Where is he going? What people want to do? Well, let me just start doing it and see if I'm followed.
Well, I think you've brought up a very good thing. I talk about even when it comes to parenting, right? When I discuss parenting, people often will say, "Well, Larry, parenting is so hard," and I say, "Well, you know what? If you take two things, two parts, and you accept these two things as true, parenting becomes relatively easy." And the first thing is your kids are not now, nor will they ever be you. And number two, you cannot protect your kids from everything. If you accept those two things as true, being a parent is basically just making sure your kids don't die, meaning you feed them and clothe them and put a roof over their head. And two, be a good example because kids do what we do, not
Well,
what we say. And I think leadership is very similar to that. People tend to do what we do and not what we say. Example is critical.
I agree. Protecting children, by the way, is not the easiest thing after the age of 12 for children.
Correct?
Don't know if anybody's noticed that when they're not home and you don't know where the fuck they are,
Yep.
other than where they told you they
Right.
allegedly are, which most likely is not the case if they're
Mm-hmm.
over 14.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Listen, your protect is done. Okay.
Yes.
You better go back
Absolutely.
to being the example that when they
Yes.
come home from some horrific experience, they get to see, oh, thank God there's staid and reliable dad. Okay. That's the best you
Yes. I totally said, look, I tell my people who tell me all the time, they say, Larry, you,
can
your your daughters aren't very rebellious. And I say, well, no, they aren't that rebellious against me. And they say, well, why? I said, because I don't tell them to do anything. So there's nothing to really rebel against. But they are rebellious because all teens are rebellious. By default, they're rebellious. They're rebellious against whatever system is put in front of them. I just don't put a system in front of them. So they don't rebel much against me. So I think you're right. The leadership concept of having total control is, in my view, it's an industrial model from 70 or 80 years ago when everyone was trying to get a factory to work, factory workers to work harder and, pushing them. But in today's world, I need initiative. I need someone to care. I need someone to jump on that mission with me. So I know you've said you don't lead, but I think people are still following you, John. I mean, they still are. People still wanted to be on this show. People are still watching. People are still putting, asking questions. I think you're leading right now, whether you're planning to or not.
Well, yeah, maybe. I'd like to make a comment about rebellious children. You said your children's rebel against almost everything except yourself. Uh, Children, I have 47, rebel against anything
Mm-hmm.
which is a barrier to or impedes what children think they want.
Yes.
That's what they rebel against. End of fucking story. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it starts rebelling against bedtime, right? I don't want to go to bed. I'm having too much fun playing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's the first rebellion. And it goes on.
Yes.
So if a child is rebelling, best to sit down and figure out what is the desire within them that's being thwarted by what they're rebelling against.
Absolutely.
Generally, if you can figure it out and on rare occasions actually do something about
That's the one thing. Yes. So I've got people who are asking important. We talked a lot about cryptocurrency and blockchain, and a question I'm getting
it.
is, do you have some recommendation for a site or a book or a movie or something for people who are interested in kind of getting what we're talking about? Some people are lost; they don't really get it. Do you have any recommendation for what you can watch to understand a bit more about this field?
I don't think there's any one thing, any one book or video that's any better than any other. I think the best thing is just to do what you do with anything you want to explore, go to Google,
Hmm.
type in cryptocurrency. You, you're going to end up with millions of responses. Look at some of the titles. One might interest you. Click on that. If it doesn't interest you, go back, click another. If it does interest you, continue. As you come up with a question, they're talking about something like privacy coins. You know what that means? Go back to Google, type in privacy coins. I mean, seriously, all education today, with the exception of neurosurgery, I suspect, can be carried out on Google in a far shorter time with greater efficiency and I think a greater uptake of knowledge.
Well, there are two things I want to bring. This is a great. The first one is, when I wanted to look at it, what I did was I actually went to, I think I went to Netflix, if I'm not mistaken. I went to Netflix, searched under blockchain, found some documentaries there, and I watched Netflix while I had Google out. Exactly what you talked about. I had two screens.
Good.
So
That's
I was,
perfect.
yeah, so
That's
I was
perfect.
watching the movie and pausing it and
And
Googling
then
it when
Google.
things came
Yeah.
up. Exactly. So that's what I think
Right.
you should do.
I know. I agree fully. It does,
Yes.
but use Google. Use the search tool that we have that gets information at the tip of your fingers. I mean, we like to blast Google, don't we? We love to hate Google. And one of the most entertaining things we can do is to get together and collectively hate Google.
Yes.
And there's good cause for that. I mean, Google does cooperate with our government.
Yes.
Google has even said they will now offer to police departments if there's a crime in a certain area. Google will tell you which telephones were within 100 feet or 200 feet and what the phone numbers were and
Wow.
what the times. Um,
Wow.
that terrifies me, and yet Google has given me and you um, an opportunity to
Yes.
learn based on my own yearning for knowledge and
Absolutely.
not some regurgitated pamphlet that's structured from the mind of a college professor, which is no longer even relevant. So take
You've hit,
advantage of that,
yes,
people.
you've hit so many things. I want to bring up this piece too. The idea of technology just being for, making business faster, which it is absolutely, but it's actually so much more than that. I mean, the reality of it is I have learned far more through the internet than through every college course and every high school I've ever been to, without question. And most of the things I
Yeah, me too.
learned in high school are useless now. Most of the things I learned in college are useless now. Most
Are
are.
useless.
Yes,
Absolutely.
mostly useless
Yes,
now.
absolutely.
So my daughter is in high school now, and my wife is very concerned about her, last couple years of high school. And I said, "Why are you so concerned?" She goes, "Well, she's got to do well in school." And I said, "Why?" She's basically marking time until she's an adult. Nothing she learns now, she's going to use. And but if she goes to college for 4 years, whatever she learned is now obsolete anyway with the technology change. So why are we so concerned? Let her go out, learn something on her own. If she has a question, as you said, start to learn on your own. Google it, Netflix it, Hulu it, whatever is the Amazon Prime it, whatever is the appropriate way of making things happen. Education today, I mean, really can be almost anything you want. You find people who become experts in fields without having to be credentialed and to actually speak better on topics, not being credentialed, because the credential actually puts them in a box where not getting credential actually opens up their mind to hearing whatever's actually happening now and real conversations, pros and cons, multiple nuance. And this is the critical piece. What we're lacking, I feel, in America in general is an understanding of nuance. Everything is black or white. You're on my side or you're with me or you're against me. And there's almost no nuance. And I feel the advantage of, even though the sometimes cesspool of the internet sometimes is, at least you get nuance, you get all types of things to think differently.
Well, yeah, I think the story of nuance is ideology.
Yes.
And I've never seen a more ideological country than America. I mean, just look at it.
Yes.
We have two major political ideologies, left
Hmm.
and right, Democrat and Republican. We have multiple um, religious
Mm-hmm.
separations and divisions of people. Then religion is, of course, one of the greatest evolved ideologies.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
We have ideologies relative to specific issues, homeless and immigration and healthcare and taxes and
Sure.
international relations. Um,
But
so
isn't
we
that a
are
normal
full.
isn't that a normal outcome of this, right? When I teach sales, I talk about something very different, and you'll see it connects. I tell people that if this was 50 years ago, the average salesman's job was really educating their customer. That was a big deal for salesmen 50 years ago, a salesperson. But now, most of the time, the people do their own homework. There's so much information. They know so much already. They've Googled you before you even show up to the meeting. All of that stuff happens. The goal now of a sales rep, more than ever, is to curate the information and to say there's all that out here, but here's what matters to you because you have information overload. You can't make a decision. Let me help you make the decision. And what I think ideology has become, it has become a shortcut to decision making, right? I don't have enough time and energy and emotion to go through everything. So I'll just listen to some talking head that I believe in. And the talking head said it's good, therefore it's good, or the talking head said it's bad, and therefore it's bad. I think ideology almost comes from and also is reinforced by the massive amount of information we have.
Of course. Well, come on. I mean, the most structured and severe of ideologies, religious ideologies,
Mm-hmm.
uh, free you from the necessity of thinking at all. Um, you don't have to think about anything. Someone puts a glass of wine in front of you. If you're fundamental Baptist, you don't drink. Say, I don't drink.
Mm-hmm.
If you're Catholic, you might. If you're Muslim, you won't, but you might pull out a joint.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to think anymore.
Right.
Your life is habituated to
Mm-hmm.
decisions based upon ideology rather than the actual truth of what's happening in the moment that you're making a fucking decision.
Hmm. So let me go on another question I have, and this is the big thing we've talked about, kind of, and that is, do you have an opinion either way on the impeachment?
No, I
It's
could
fun.
care less.
It's funny. I feel the same way. People have bugged me. They say, Larry, why aren't you jumping up and down about the impeachment? And I agree with you on this one. I think if there was an actual chance of the president being removed, and if that removal would actually make some change, I would be concerned. I don't think he's going to get removed, and if he did get removed, I don't think there's going to be much change anyway. So I'm not that
People,
concerned.
this is not even conjecture. I mean, this is mathematics. We know what will happen step by step, almost to the very day.
Yes.
He will be impeached.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Why? Because the numbers in the House say he will. In the Senate, he will be acquitted because the
Yes.
numbers say he will be. See, this is
Yes.
why it is fucking nonsense to pay attention to it. We
Mm,
all know exactly what will happen, and yet we're watching it enthralled.
yes.
I mean, how many
Yes.
times are you going to watch a movie before you stop watching?
Well, I think this one people really like, so they're going back and forth again and again and again.
And
They're
that's
really
fine. That's
enjoying it.
fine. And if it entertains, that's fine if it entertains you. But listen, I got better things to do than to
Right.
pay attention to something with an absolute guaranteed outline. And you could run the numbers and even find the date and time if you want. So why are we watching?
Yeah.
Why? It's because the people in control need us to watch this because we empower what we pay attention to. We
Sure.
empower it in our own minds. Do you
Right.
understand? And it becomes important. Well, I don't want such trivialities as a goddamn impeachment, whose outcome we all know.
Right.
I don't have time for that.
Right.
I'm sorry. I don't understand how anybody has time for it.
Wow.
Jesus, can we not add and subtract any more people? Republican controlled House, duh.
Yep.
Democratic, I mean,
Democratic
the
controlled House,
Republican
Republican
controlled
controlled Senate.
Senate,
Yep.
Democratic controlled House, duh. So in the House, yes, he's getting impeached. In the Senate, he gets off. Why
Yep.
are we even talking about it? It is so senseless to me.
All right. So let me go off into a more practical question. You're going to be campaigning. How are you
I
looking at
am.
this? Are you looking at this mostly through media like this? Are you going to be buying ads? Are you doing traditional things? You're going to be doing virtual events? Have you decided how you're going to be actually campaigning, getting out there?
Well, I'm sure as fuck. I'm not going to be buying ads or spending money.
That's
I
why I
mean,
was
would
asking.
you? No, seriously, would anybody vote for a person who wanted that job so bad that they're willing to spend money to get it?
It's happening right
Right off the
now.
bat, that's right. I'm being funny again. It's what these idiots are doing. It's what you
Yes.
all are doing. You are electing people who pay money to get a job, paying $250,000 a year, and you pay 100 million for it. Say, oh well, he didn't pay. The president and his supporters did. I don't give a shit who wrote the check. Somebody somewhere is important enough that this person sits in that chair. They're going to spend $100 million. Now, a sane society finding out that, wait a minute, that president just bought an ad. We're
Mm-hmm.
not voting for him. Do you understand how we got our first president of America, George Washington? He was the general of the Continental Army,
Right.
and he was an old fucker. And he wanted to retire and fish on the Potomac River. Now, if you ask me, he fucking deserved it. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, slept in ditches for years,
Sure.
saving and kicking out the British, allowing America to exist, and he just wanted to fish. Well, let that bastard fish. No, here's the problem. Who else was there?
Right.
We got Thomas Jefferson, one of the most brilliant minds and inventors and architects, but goddamn, he couldn't find his glasses, let alone run a country. There's Benjamin Franklin, who could have done it, but he spent all of his time chasing whores and drinking. I mean, there was nobody else. That was George. And so they drug him kicking and screaming. But in the end, he goes, all right, all right. I mean, you're right, because really, there was. If it
Mm-hmm.
hadn't been George, God knows where this country may have ended up. But he took the
Yeah.
job.
I mean,
Didn't
well, and
want the
also something
job.
else. He
That's
actually
who we should
voluntarily
be.
stepped down. I mean, even the bigger piece of to your point is he actually
Yes.
voluntarily stepped down, and at that point in time, that was almost magical. I mean, people just didn't do that in the
Well,
1700s. That wasn't done.
he didn't want the fucking job, remember?
Yes. Yes.
so, so now, why aren't we doing that today? Why, people, are you voting for someone spending more money to get a job than it pays?
Mm-hmm.
You know what we've created? We've created a government through the Constitution that serves us, the people. We have jobs that need filling.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody wants a job of president? Pays $250,000 a year, and someone says, "I'll take it." In fact, I want to spend money to get it. Right off the bat, wouldn't the shackles go up on hackles on the back of your neck? Like, whoa, you're
Right.
spending money, and I ain't voting for you. But no, we vote only for people who spend a shitload of money.
Yes.
We have
Absolutely.
gone crazy. We have gone crazy as a society. People, wake the fuck up. See what we have done, and let's stop it. Stop voting for people paying money. So, getting back to me,
Mm-hmm.
fuck no, I'm spending no goddamn money. If I
Mm-hmm.
did, then you should not even listen to me because
Okay.
I must have some reason for wanting that fucking job other than the job.
Okay.
Do you see
Okay.
the
I got it.
insanity that
So
we
you
buy into?
so you'll be doing a lot of virtual things like this.
That's basically it. My Twitter account, I show
Mm-hmm.
up at conferences. I can't do it in advance. I can't
Sure.
announce in advance I'm going to be
Of
somewhere.
course.
But I showed up. I showed up in Spain a month or
Mm-hmm.
two ago at Barcelona. I left my helicopter immediately thereafter, so no
So
one had
can
time
I
to collect
ask
me.
you, do you have or have you decided, how you measure a win in this upcoming election? Do you have criteria for victory?
Yeah, the one criteria would be that nobody is elected that has ever held political office before. That would be a
Ah,
win. I
okay.
think that's going to happen.
Okay.
But that would be a huge fucking. Can you imagine if nobody had political experience?
Well,
Because
we
what is
just got
political
that, right? I
experience?
mean, Trump had no political experience. We already have it, don't we?
Okay, fair enough. Listen. Okay, if you insist.
I don't insist.
Listen.
I'm just saying. Yeah, just saying he didn't have any
Business
political experience.
experience. Hang on. Business experience at the level in which he operated is no different than political experience. There's no difference between
Mm,
politics and big business.
I
It's
see what you're
one and the
saying.
same fucking thing. He
Okay.
just moved over to the different side of the aisle. That's
So
all.
you're
Sat
saying
in a different
someone
seat.
like an Andrew Yang type, someone like that, you mean?
Yeah, like an Andrew Yang. Or if it were me, I would just go and get derelicts on the street because it would take them 50 fucking years to organize enough to take power away from the people again. And listen, our government is shut down for months. Nothing changes.
That I've
Presidents
noticed.
and Congress
Yes.
changes. Nothing changes. Nothing changes. It doesn't matter who's there. Let's just put derelicts in. They can't do any fucking harm. And then let's get back to work as people building a life for ourselves in privacy and freedom.
So let me change the concept. And we talked about the presidency. Do you care about local elections? Is that a thing for you, right? Do you think the local mayor, the local city council, the local town council, the local sheriff, do you think these are critical, the same as running for a federal office? Where's your head there?
Fucking way more important
Hmm.
than national elections. Here's why.
Yes.
Let's ignore the large cities for now. Let's look at the average American town. Number one, everybody knows exactly who the candidates are.
Sure.
I mean, you've had dinner with them for sure. I mean, a little town like Lexington, Tennessee, where Janice and I lived for a few years, just a few years ago. Town of 10,000 people.
Hmm.
Everybody knew who was running. I
Right.
mean, you'd either had dinner with them, went to school with them,
Hmm.
fucked them, fell in love with them, and got deported. But no, everybody knew.
Hmm.
Well,
Right.
that's not a bad fucking election. I mean, you know exactly which mayor you're going to vote for.
Hmm.
Please. But we're beyond that nationally.
Yes.
And so we choose criteria like who's running the slickest campaign. Well,
Right.
the one spending the most money, of course. So whoever's running the slickest campaign should be disqualified. I mean, just
Okay.
off the bat.
I like that. That's good. Slickest campaign, you're gone. I love it. So
Yes, if
okay.
you're spending money, we're in an
So but
age. Do I need to spend money? Listen, I'm talking to you. I do 3 of these fucking podcasts 6 days a week. Saturday's my only day off. I look forward to it. Oh, thank God, nothing today. All right.
mhm,
Why? Because I can reach lots of people. Even if you've
sure.
got 10 viewers, that's fine. If 10 people are viewing, one of those listens, they're going to tell 10 people. So
I
it's all
really
the
hope
same.
I have more than
And
10 people viewing. I really hope that.
well,
So yes.
whoever, whatever number,
Yes. I'm teasing.
numbers
I'm
are just
teasing.
fucking numbers.
Yes.
But
I'm teasing.
so, um, so it costs me nothing.
Mhm.
And my interconnection is almost free. Um, the electricity is cheap.
Mhm.
Hopefully, this pad that I'm working on will last for another few years. If not, I'm going to cough up another $500. I mean, Jesus
Mhm.
God, how much money do you have to expend to
No,
run
I
for president in the age of the fucking internet?
yep. So
We
let me
should
ask you some.
demand.
Go ahead.
Yes, no, go ahead.
What I'm saying is, I want to ask some other questions from the internet. People are asking. One of them: do you think you'll ever want to come back to the U.S.?
I want to come back now. It's my home, people. I was I was born in England, but I was at 2 years old, came to the States. My father
Hmm.
was an American soldier in World War II. I mean, I was raised there, I fell in love there, went to school there, got my first job, got married, had kids, got my first concept of what I wanted to do. I love America. Of course, I want to come back. I have an issue here. I've been drinking wine. I've been here for over an hour. I've got to take a piss. Can you take a break?
Go, 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 go. Absolutely. Yes.
All right.
Take a break. Go.
All right.
Yes. Absolutely. 100%. Yes. There's the advantage of having a 2-hour show that someone can go take a piss break if they want to. No worries. All good. So I want to thank the people who are watching. John will be right back, obviously, after bathroom break. For those of you watching, thank you. Thank you for the questions you're putting in. I'm sorry we don't have live phone calls on this one. But as a norm, we have live phone calls. And coming up here next Monday when we redo our show again, we will have live phone calls again. And if you want to ask questions about this interview next Monday, feel free to call in. I'm happy to chat with you about it, whatever you might think is going on. And for those of you actually putting the questions in the chat, thank you. As you know, I'm reading them off to the best of my ability, trying to get him to answer those questions to the best that I can do. So some questions for me. Someone is saying, you're still working the hoodie. Yes, I am. I'm still working both. There is a Sharpe way, and there also is the Larry Sharpe for governor. I haven't given up yet, guys. Of course I am. I actually wear this out in town sometimes. And this morning, when I was at my daughter's recital, she did a play today in elementary school, I was recognized. So I'm happy that I keep getting recognized here in New York. So John is back, so we can restart. So John, are you there?
All right.
Awesome.
That's so much better. No, I can't remember what we were talking about. Christmas,
No worries.
I think.
Yeah, I have some more. I've got tons of questions for you. I have a couple more. You mentioned that you wanted to come back to the U.S. Do you think you will? Do you think there's going to be a time when you say, you know what, I'm going to take care of my issues and I'm going to come on back?
Well, there's no way to take care of my issues. I'm not wanted for anything specific. I'm just wanted to shut me up. I mean, I go on the national stage and tell people how to avoid paying taxes.
Yes, that's true.
Using cryptocurrency. So trust me, they don't want money. There's nothing I can clear up other than promising to shut my fucking mouth, and they're not going to believe that.
Yes.
Neither would I, actually. So,
yes. I wouldn't believe that.
So no. But if I could, I would. But let me tell you something. I'm 74. There is no way to anticipate the future. And the future is a very surprising thing when it happens in my life. So I don't have a clue if I would go back. If offered the opportunity safely, of course I would take it. I love America.
Okay, that's good.
I'm living up here in the fucking Arctic Circle with goddamn polar bears and seals.
So maybe we'll have a miracle and a libertarian president will win and they can pardon you and bring you back. Well, let's hope for a miracle. It'll be next year Christmas
that miracle will not happen. Yeah, that won't happen. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, but you mentioned the idea of what is victory, right? And in my view, victory for the Libertarian Party next year is growth, right? So Gary Johnson got us about 4.5 million votes. My how I would define victory is more than that. That's how I would define victory. If the presidential candidate gets more than that, I'm good. If they can get 5% or more, even better. If they could break 10%, that will be magical. I would love that. Do you have a definition in your head?
Yeah, and it definitely is not that.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
No worries.
That to me is loss.
Okay.
That's big time failure.
So tell me what a win
number
is.
One. First of all, let me explain what I mean by win. So, number one, libertarians are not going to be presidents until our system is fixed. That's a fact of life. It's a two-party system, not going to let us play. So it doesn't matter if we get 5% this year, 10% the next, 15%. As soon as we get enough percentage like Ross Perot, both parties will unite as one and go, listen, okay, whatever problems we have, nothing compared to this motherfucker here. Let's do him in. I don't mean whack him, but trust me, they have the power to stop the growth. Growth is not what we should, because what are we doing? We are growing within the fucking system that is the problem. We are pretending to be like everybody else in politics. Our debates look like it. They ask Mr. McAfee, what will you do? Do you do your first day as president? Finally, on the last debate, I said, listen, ask me a sensible adult program because the world is watching. I am not going to have a first day as president. Neither is Mr. Johnson. Neither is anybody on this fucking stage. Please wake up and ask something so I can answer. It will help the world understand why libertarianism is important. All you are doing is making us look stupid by making us look like, oh, we believe we have a chance of being president. Good God Almighty, wake the fuck up. So we got to get real with ourselves. We're not going to be.
Okay.
So why do you give a shit if we get 10% or 15? Doesn't matter. We're not going to be. So let's abandon
but
how many
doesn't
votes we get, because that means nothing.
But when Ross Perot got, was it 19% or I forgot what he received, something like that. The big number like that he got in 90 was 92. He got that right, 92.
Yes,
he got like 19%. At that point, people were beginning to listen to him. Right, the idea of getting that many votes made the average American go, wait a minute, this guy might be real. Don't we want that? So that the average American says, wait a minute, these libertarians may be real. Don't we get the change you're talking about if we first get those 5-10% so that the average American says, this is real. Let me open up my mind to hearing this John McAfee guy talk.
Wouldn't it be better as libertarians to say the truth?
Sure.
To explain as we see things? Wouldn't that be far better to portray what we are rather than to say we got 1 million fucking votes? Who gives a shit? We got it in the system we're trying to fucking destroy. Wake the fuck up, libertarians.
Can't
see
we do both?
The truth of where we are.
Why can't we do both?
No, sir, you cannot.
Tell me why not.
Can you both be faithful to your wife and fuck your neighbor? I want to know how you do that, my friend.
Well, there's two ways you can do that.
Possibly do both.
Yes, you can. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. You simply have an open relationship with your wife, and there we go. She does her thing, you do your thing, and you got it. You can do it, and not just
why don't you develop?
I can still flirt with my neighbor and not have sex with her. I can still flirt with her. Come on.
Okay. Well, then why don't you develop an open relationship with the American people, and then I'll go along with you. Until that happens, my friend, the voting hurts us. The numbers, because they look, we got 5%. No, it hurts us. It makes us look stupid. Please, God, stop getting percentages and start talking truth. And the truth is not vote for me or vote for libertarians, because it's not going to matter. You're wasting your goddamn vote. The truth is we have something here, and we're on this stage to tell you what it is, not to project one of our own personalities. It's no goddamn better than Trump or Clinton or anybody. They're not. We're not gods. We have a lamp of truth. Why don't we just carry that motherfucker and show things with it? Light up the goddamn
shine
darkness.
A light.
That's
is
what
the
we
answer.
should be doing, people.
Shine a light is the answer.
I don't know what else to do.
I love what else to do. So let's go down. We went light. Let's go to something that's kind of dark here. Do you think that the U.S., and this is what I've heard from many people who are afraid of this, that we're so divided and so divisive that they're more divided than we've been, since the Civil War, and that means a civil war is coming. Do you have an opinion either way on, is the U.S. moving towards a civil war? Are we so divided that that's the only answer, violence in the streets, or no?
It's not in the CIA's interest, therefore it will not happen.
Okay. So then how do they back off that, right? How do you, when you have that train moving towards that destination, that can't be easy to back that off, right? I mean, it's going to be difficult to back off.
Bullshit. How easy was it to bomb Iraq into the Stone Age by simply telling the president a lie? What if you tell the president 1,000 truths, all of which weave one perspective, which guarantees the president will act as you want? But it doesn't fucking matter. Please, let's wake up. We're playing with the play. Stop. Open the curtain and look behind, and let's deal with that shit, please, people.
So you're saying if civil war is not in the best interests of the deep state, of the CIA, you're saying
going to happen.
There's no.
It's not going to happen.
Okay.
There won't be a civil war. There can't be a civil war. Do you understand? The CIA's directive is stasis. STASIS. Why? And we have had stasis. Proof of stasis is change of president. Even Obama, 4 years he fought to get Obamacare, clever bastard. But no, Next administration dismantled it.
Hmm.
Why? The CIA did not want the social turmoil of the financial costs of Obamacare. Therefore, it's gone. These people, nothing changes. Stasis. Now, if this is not the clue that says, I'm watching a play, then it's hopeless and just go back to sleep
So
and
are
don't listen to
are
me.
you
It's
saying,
very,
and this is a question I have from Facebook. Are you saying that government and freedom cannot coexist? I'm not saying you saying that. I'm asking that. Are you saying that you think they cannot coexist, or do you think there
of
is
course they can.
some symbiotic relationship?
Yes. Well, listen, the Constitution, as written,
Mm-hmm.
is the perfect formula for government
Okay,
and freedom
I see.
because the government works for us. We fire the bastards when they don't like it. We hire the bastards when we need a president. They do the work and go home. That changed. Power corrupted our government and the system on which it rests. We
So
have to repeal certain things. The 13th, okay, the income tax is one thing that has to be repealed, and we must
absolutely,
strengthen other things.
absolutely,
Privacy, we've lost all privacy, people.
yes.
So yes, yeah, we have it. We just abandoned it. We
M-
dropped it along the wayside. We
My wife and I
rewrote it
fight
so
over
that it
this
looks the
all the
same.
time. We fight over this all the time. I've told my wife, I surrendered. I don't have any privacy. It's all yours. It's not worth. It's so hard to fight. I've said, you know what? I'll fight other battles. I've lost my privacy. But my wife's the opposite. My wife's like, no, I will fight and I will fight and I will fight. And she wants to keep her privacy. Because I think you're right. It's a serious problem. I've just surrendered.
Yeah, well, here's the issue. Um, People who surrender don't understand themselves. They're completely. I'm not talking about you, but
Tell me,
your listeners.
maybe I don't understand
Um,
myself. I'm happy to be enlightened, please.
many people do not. See, many people don't know that privacy is their most important decision maker in life,
Mm-hmm.
and that every single relationship that you have, from deep relationships like with your spouse, to casual relationships, to one-time relationships like you're at the store buying something.
Mm-hmm.
But every one of those has severe privacy filters on it. At the store, well, what if you're checking out? You went to buy a shirt at the store,
Okay.
clerk you'd never seen,
Yep.
and she's backing up your goods and says, you know what? I fucked my wife's brother last night, and I'm thinking that maybe I shouldn't have because I think maybe his brother is going to tell. What do you think? Wouldn't you be shocked? You
Me,
don't do
no. That
shit
happens
like
to me
that.
like every week. So me, no. But most
A
people,
total
yes, they'd be shocked.
stranger. A
Oh,
total stranger the first time you talk to them?
sadly,
Okay, well that
I
doesn't
have that
happen to
power.
me.
I have
Okay,
that
well
power.
let's talk about how okay, well so that's fine. Let's talk about what we do. Would
Sure.
you then tell a total stranger, I just
No,
fucked my wife's sister?
I would not.
All right, why not? Because you have a privacy filter that says this
That's
is
true.
private information only
Yes.
to be shared with certain people. And you know who they are. Maybe your best friend,
Yes.
maybe
Good
your
point.
mother.
Yep.
But no, please God, every single relationship in your life is ruled by one thing and one thing only: privacy. Because if we all knew
Mm-hmm.
everything about everyone, we would disintegrate as a society. We could not live together. Why? We're a mixed bag. We're human beings, for fuck's sake. We love, we have compassion, generosity. We also hate.
Yep.
We have jealousy and
Yes.
greed, and paranoia, fear. But please, we're a mixed bag.
Absolutely.
As a mixed bag, we must have privacy. If you don't see that within yourself, you've never looked at yourself. Because
No, it's a
if
valid
you
point.
pick a single relationship, your boss, you
Mm-hmm.
don't tell your boss everything. You don't tell your boss, oh, listen, on Friday when I called in sick, I wasn't sick, I was playing golf with Fred. No, you've got things you hide. It's not, I've got nothing to hide. That's utter nonsense.
Yes, I hear
It's,
that one all the time.
I have
Yes.
something to hide, but from who?
Yes.
You have lots of shit to hide.
We
You have
all have
shit to
things to hide.
hide from casual people you meet in the street.
Yeah.
You hide everything from those people. So please,
No, that's true. No,
if you
it's a
don't
valid point.
think that privacy is important, you have never looked at yourself, people.
Yeah. All right. So let me go, since you're talking about this. There, are you a fan either way? Do you have an opinion either way on the idea of militias and how militias have, kind of grown in a way since there have been so many attacks on the Second Amendment? I think there's a rise in militias. Are you someone who says that's a good thing, that's a bad thing, or some other opinion?
It's a completely inconsequential thing.
Okay,
Militias made sense. Hang on, let me explain this, please.
please.
When, when the government allowed people to do as they wished and create what they wanted, this is very important because the rifle that you have probably the same fucking rifle that the army has
Sure.
and the police have.
Yes.
Now, the rifle you have today is somewhat inferior to, let's say, a nuclear bomb, um,
Yeah.
a new poison by the CIA.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we have devices now that are microwave um, focusable
Mm-hmm.
that'll make your skin feel like it's on fire. So military missiles mean nothing today, unfortunately, because the government has outarmed the civilians.
Yeah,
So
but I
I
mean,
don't care
but
what militias you have.
civilians can still win. I mean, I think Afghanistan is a good example of that. Completely outgunned, completely outarmed. The Afghanis still survive and beat us. I think Vietnam
Oh,
completely
bullshit.
outgunned. They
Utter
still beat
fucking
us.
bullshit. Utter fucking bullshit. The Vietnam didn't beat us.
What
We
are you
just didn't
talking
drop
about?
enough bombs.
We
No,
dropped
yeah,
more
we
bombs
left.
in we dropped more bombs in Vietnam than we dropped in World War II in Germany and Japan combined. Come on, we dropped tons of bombs on Vietnam. We would
No,
have had.
we didn't drop a single. We didn't drop a single nuclear bomb, which we could easily have done and ended that fucking war instantly, killing far fewer people than conventional bombs did. And you know this. We all know this. No, we lost that war on purpose for lack of will. Um,
Okay.
so no, listen, militias mean nothing, and the Afghan, please God, please God, do you think for 1 second that a man with an AK-57 is a match for a Soviet tank or an Apache helicopter
No, not one on
or
one. I agree.
a drone? Not even one on a million.
Okay.
Please, our militias mean nothing. Hang on, a militia is an armed body
Sure.
capable of defending. How the fuck do you defend with AR-15s? Please, God, you tell me. When they're
You.
bringing fully automatic 50 cals, they're
Yep.
bringing tanks, they're bringing. No, please, we can't win. It's
So
nonsense.
are you telling
Militias
me
mean
that
nothing.
hold
No,
on? So you're telling me that the Russians lost Afghanistan on purpose, and we lost Afghanistan on purpose, and we lost Iraq on purpose?
no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. We
I
didn't
mean, we
have the will.
outgunned all of them, right? I mean, we outgunned the Russians outgunned the Afghans.
Bullshit.
We outgunned the
Bullshit.
Afghans. We
We
outgunned
had
the Iraqis.
fewer. We had fewer than 50,000 goddamn soldiers there. All right. They had 2 million. 2 million. We just needed more soldiers.
Okay, we need
Didn't
more soldiers.
send them.
Okay, all right.
Did not send them. We did not have the will.
Okay.
We're just running around beating people with clubs because we can. We're America,
Well, it's
which
funny.
needs to
Someone
stop.
asked me. Someone said, Larry, can we win in Afghanistan? And my response, this was years ago, I said, yeah, I think we could if we wanted to put 250,000 Marines in Afghanistan for the next 20 years. I think then we could. If we want to do that, we could, but it would take 20 years. It would take 250,000 Marines, and it would take a whole lot of casualties for those next 20 years until we changed it. I'm not prepared to pay that price.
Well, the only way to win is to annihilate the civilian population. And seriously, you can't win in a country like Afghanistan, where the religious ideology is so transfixed
Mm-hmm.
the populace,
Okay.
so that these are people willing to put bombs on themselves and blow themselves to pieces. Do you understand what we're up against? We
So
can't win against that.
So let me go back, if I could, to what you talked about earlier about the idea of votes and percentages and things of that sort. So if percentages aren't key, and it's more about changing hearts and minds, and percentages of vote aren't that key. Do you, in your mind, really want a libertarian party or independent parties support in getting votes, or do you want that support in
No, I
just
don't want
getting the
any
name
fucking
out?
votes.
You just want getting the
I don't
name
want my
out is what you want.
I don't
Is
want my
getting out
name
your
out. I
message
mean, I
so
could
that
go on
people can see your light.
message. I got a fucking. I'm 74. I've seen a
Hmm.
lot. I understand something, perhaps.
Sure.
Anybody who thinks that they see what I see, that's what I'm looking for. And I'm talking on the airwaves, waiting for those people, and they're coming in twos and threes like crazy. This is what I'm doing. I'm only speaking to 1/10 of 1% of the
Sure.
population now. The
Okay.
rest of you guys go about your business because you're quite happy, and I see no reason for you to change anything.
Sure.
But that 1% that realizes that they're in a prison of slavery, waking up on a Monday morning and commuting for an hour to a windowless, airless office where you spend 8 hours, 5 days a week. With a few weeks, they let you out of jail a few weeks of the year and on weekends.
You
And
sound
you do
like
this for
Morpheus
40
from the
years.
Matrix. You
And you
sound like,
do this for
yeah,
40 years.
too many years.
I don't care who I sound like. I'm just
Yes.
telling you what I'm saying.
Yes. No, I'm
And
with you.
the so is this not slavery? If it isn't, then I don't know what it is because it's not natural. It's not
So
humane.
I have another kind of odd question. Someone's asking, is your Instagram actually you or is it staff?
I've never been on Instagram, so it must
Okay.
be staff. Even if I have, I'm not even sure I have an Instagram. If I do, it sure as fuck ain't me. I'm just
There we
on
go.
Twitter. Listen, for those of you who are in social media and you
Yep.
have a preference here or there, listen, Jack and his crowd have done something remarkable in the world of literature. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And is forcing people to condense their thoughts in an organized, sequential manner in less than 300 fucking characters. Wow,
Right. Right.
that's brilliant.
Right.
And because of it, I mean, yeah, Facebook is popular, Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm into business and politics. And if you're into business, you're into making any money. If you're into talking to those in power in the world, they're not on Facebook or on Instagram. I promise you, it's
Mm-hmm.
Twitter,
Okay.
and that's where I live.
So let me go one step further. If you do you think there is something you could say to those transient people we spoke about, those legislators, those presidents? Do you think there's something you could say to them that would actually make them change? Or is it too late once they've gotten there? I mean, is this just we've got to get new people in there, or do you think there's
You got
actually
to
a
get
glimmer
new
of hope?
people. Listen,
New people.
if you've been there for a couple of years, you've already figured out that you're in the gravy pot.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody does quickly, and once you've tasted the gravy and seen the size of your spoon, there's no going back.
I
So I
like
don't
that.
give a shit about waking up these people. They are corrupted by association. No,
I love
I
that.
want to wake up those people who believe they're powerless. And by yourself, you are. Those
Mm-hmm.
people who know that there's more but don't know what it is. Those who yearn for something. Those who stand like you're standing on a street corner with a hole in the center of your being and the wind is going through it. An empty sensation. You don't know why. You just know you're not satisfied, and
Mm-hmm.
neither money, nor sex, nor drugs, nor power, nor TV, nor even
Or
Family Guy
I just need a
satisfies that.
I need a bigger gravy spoon. I love that analogy. I'm so gonna steal that. That's great. I'm so gonna steal that. So, um,
Okay,
I
we
want to
have
go.
we have time for one more question. One more
Yeah,
question, my friend.
Yep. I want to go.
I'm losing my voice.
No worries. One last one we have here, and that is, do you think that the American military will ever turn on Americans? Do you think that the CIA has that much power that it could turn our actual soldiers, sailors, and Marines to turn their weapons upon the population?
Well, I mean, if not, it's the only empire in the history of the world that we're aware of that soldiers did not turn against the people. I mean, you
Okay.
name one. Well, no, fucking you name one.
I'm with you.
Every
No.
empire at some point. I mean, look at Russia. I mean,
Yes.
Russia goes, okay, look, these people are making noise. I'm having a fucking Christmas party and I need quiet and I can't hear the goddamn piano player. Would you go
Mhm.
out there and kill those people? And that's what they fucking did.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
no, of course they can. Why would they not? Do you think this is the arrogance of the individual?
Hmm.
Um, we all know that when a man or a woman says, I love you and I'll be faithful forever, that the chances of that actually happening are only 7%. I mean, because after 4, 5, 6, or 7 years of marriage, the magic number, 93% of all married people have fucked somebody else. Now, this is the reality. You can do one of two things. You can accept it
Hmm.
and go, that's probably what's happening in my relationship, even though I'm not doing it statistically, my spouse is. Or you can deny it and say, I, I'm different.
I'm special.
I'm John. I'm special.
Hmm.
My wife doesn't sleep around on me. Everybody else's does, but not mine. No, you're not special. There are only special people in this world, folks. There's just you
It's just us.
and me
Absolutely.
and us. That's it. That's
So,
all it fucking is.
so John, is there anything you want to bring up before we kind of wrap this up? Anything you want to bring up or
Yes,
share with us or anything
yes,
like that?
there is. Yes,
Please.
yes. Do what you love and nothing else, people. I mean, nothing else. When I woke up in the mornings, when I ran McAfee and most of the jobs I had on Monday morning, I could not wait to get to work. I
Mm,
loved my job.
very
I
good.
love being home on weekends with my wife and family. But God damn, I love my job. I was excited. And on Friday, at the end of workday, I felt a tinge of sadness
Hmm.
because I had to get up from my desk and go home.
Right.
Even though I love my wife and at home I had just as much fun. If that's not how you view your job, then fucking quit it because you don't love it.
I
And
love
if you
that.
don't love it, don't do it.
I love
Thank
that.
you very much.
John McAfee,
All right.
so happy to have you. Thank you so much for coming. Amazing. I
Listen,
can't wait to see you again.
all right. Listen, I'd like to apologize because a couple of times, I felt like I was thrashing you personally. I was not.
Doesn't matter. I
Um,
still love you. I
I
get thrashed all the time. No worries.
fair enough.
No
Okay, good enough.
worries.
Well, you're a good man.
Absolutely.
If you
Thank
want to
you, my
go
friend.
on again, call Jams. Next time, half an hour. That's the max I can do. Okay.
Half hour next time. Deal. Deal, my friend. I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye. All right, guys. I want to say thank you for those of you who were watching, those of you who were listening. I hope it was an interesting show for you. I tried to get as many of your questions in while I was talking about things that I thought were kind of important to me also. Hope it was enlightening for you, seeing what John McAfee's thinking, where his head is, what he's doing. And I hope, as always, you find value in this show. And if you do find value in this show, then support this show. It is critical you support this show. Head on over to patreon.com/sharpeway. Give what you can. If that's $9, if that's $48, if you've got the money, 500, you got McAfee dollars, throw me $1,000 a month and let's keep this rocking and rolling and keep this going so we can have some interesting conversation. So guys, thank you once again. And I will see you guys next time right here on the Sharpe Way.